Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It is Saturday night. This is Jonathan from Crossover Paranormal Society, and I have his link pinned at the top of the chat. So if you don't know his channel, please go over and get to know his channel. And so, Jonathan, welcome so much for being my guest. I wanted to have you on for the longest time.
Thanks for having me. I've been all excited for last week because getting closer. So
And I've been telling everybody it's going to be epic. You don't want to miss this one because
yeah,
paranormal stuff is just so interesting to me. So
yeah.
tell us a little bit about how you got started on YouTube and then how you got started on the paranormal stuff.
Uh, well, I just been watching a lot of YouTube stuff, and of course, I'm into baseball cards and stuff like that. And my first passion is baseball cards, and I actually started watching Donald Blomdahl for ever since he got started, and I wanted to do something with my dad after my mom passed away, and I wanted to do a little more with my dad, hang out with him and everything. And so we got into uh, the paranormal on YouTube. But think I was wanting to do baseball cards, and he didn't like baseball cards, so that's the reason why we started doing paranormal, and and it's been going ever since.
It's good that it's something that you and your dad can, do together.
Yeah.
Um, Now, when you say that, when did you actually start your YouTube channel? Did you do that first or after your mom passed away?
We done it way after she passed away. I got started. We started this group in February of 2020, and she passed away in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, and it kind of left us some answers that we want to try to get.
So how
Try.
did you assemble your team and how did you actually start, going and investigating things?
Um, it's really supposed to be just me and my dad. Then one of the guys I worked with at work, he found out about it, and he wanted to join us and go out and have that same type mystery fun, and everything. And so it was just three of us. Then all of a sudden we started growing. We had a few other people in, but they not in no more. Then my cousin and my aunt joined. So now we're pretty much family based, but we only got like three others that is not family, but they act like family.
Okay. You've got Kenny Weaver over on your side
Yeah,
and Abyss Paranormal.
yeah.
Hello,
Appreciate all of
hello.
y'all coming in checking it out. Uh, then we decided to uh, let's try to do something different, Then we started venturing out in different states. I got a few people in Missouri. Uh, she's one of my team members. She takes care of things in Missouri. If she needs help, she can probably call Vicky and them, and they might can help her out and stuff like that, and different things. And then I got my cousin and my aunt is in Virginia, in Roanoke, Virginia. So they about 2 hours away, and we can still do some stuff. So it's pretty much family based. And Michael and Chris, that's in the group, they just right in the next county over beside of me. So we normally get together, but most time you see me and my dad on camera most of the time.
Hmm. So I know that you had a stream where you had a chair out in the, I don't know where it was at, but anyway, and that chair started
Yeah,
moving. Tell us about that.
uh, the recliner was on at the bridge. Uh,
At the
we
bridge.
was we've been investigating for the bridge for the longest time, and And somebody decided to set a recliner out there, one of them electric recliners, that you got to plug up in a wall before it will activate. Well, this is out in the middle of nowhere on the side of a road at the bridge. And first couple times we went there, it was just setting up straight. And then the next time, I think it was about 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, like it was fully reclined. The legs was out and everything. You had to have it plugged in before you matched the controllers.
Yes.
it was it was crazy.
Very, very curious how something like that,
Yeah,
would happen.
we do think it had an attachment to it. So I appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out with
We
us.
got
Yeah,
May and who was the other one? She said, or
Andreas, she's in here, and said Stevie. I
whoops.
mean, he all them's from my channel. I do appreciate each and every one of them for coming in, hanging out with us. But y'all, please jump on Echo's channel here and do all the good YouTube stuff over there. She is an amazing person.
Oh, goodness. So, what is explored that you would like to try to go to?
Lord, that's a bunch of places. I do want to try to go to a prison somewhere. It don't matter where, but I would like to go. And then one of them is in Georgia that I would like to go. It's called the Midvilles, something like that. It's a town within a town. Uh,
Oh,
it's a little bit of a wild story. I learned it from another YouTuber that's went there and done a film, but you can't go into a building. You can walk, but you can't go into any buildings, or the government will take your cameras and destroy your evidence, whatever you find and stuff like that.
oh.
Yeah, it's a really high. It's about like Area 51 that we thought.
Yes, highly protected. That's interesting. Um, I where I live, you have to pass a road or go down a road that has cemeteries on both sides of the
Yeah,
road. And there's always, somebody there just was somebody buried or whatever.
yeah,
And I always think about it when I go past there, like, y'all stay right here. Don't come
yeah.
with me.
Hey, Lisa. Hey, everybody.
But I've had a couple experiences with what I think are spirits. Dad passed away when I was 18, and my best friend passed away when I was 14. And my best friend was a big practical joker. My dad was too, but my best friend was always pulling pranks. So much so that at the funeral, at the wake, I thought that he really passed away in the casket.
Yeah.
And I was like, this has gone far enough. You need to get up. But of course, he was really gone. But um, so I feel like I feel him around me a
Yeah.
lot, you know, different times, different situations. My daughter
Yeah.
thinks I'm crazy sometimes. But hell, and I forgot to tell you too before, there was a time that my granddaughter was running up and down the hallway like she was playing chase with somebody.
Yeah.
And we asked her who was she playing with, and she said she was playing with Steve. And Steve, and I had never said that name to her.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
she used to like to look in the reflection of the stove,
Yeah.
like the oven door, like you can see a reflection.
Yeah.
And we always thought that she was seeing her own reflection. And that's why she was talking to the stove and playing.
Yeah.
But I asked her one time too, who do you see in there? And she said, well, Steve's in there.
Huh.
And I'm like, I don't want to say I don't believe you, but that's creepy, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess they say and they are much more of their surroundings than we are.
Oh yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
don't have as much interference going on like we do with our what's going on in our brains and all. So I
Yeah.
think that, they're able to sense things a lot easier than adults do.
Yeah, you're right.
But it is kind of strange how, certain things happen um and like I said before, I'm a Christian, I believe in God, but if you believe that our spirit can leave and go to heaven, then you also have to believe that there
I think she.
are spirits.
Yeah.
Thought it was internet's having problems, so if we freeze or whatever, we'll be back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like it always makes me question. It makes me have more questions after something happens.
Yeah. I I think there's a lot that we don't know about. We still don't have a lot of answers. That's the reason why we try to go out and find some stuff. Hopefully, one day we will get it, but I don't believe we will because we don't. If they want to tell us, they will let us know something. Because like I said, we always have spirits walking around us 24/7.
Hmm.
It's just if they want you to know they're there, they'll let you know. They will smack you back the head or say straighten up or whatever. Uh,
Hmm.
it's
Don't you have like a little I want to say it's a monkey, but I don't know what it is, but some little toy thing that it'll come on like
Yeah, I got a gizmo die that we use,
there you go.
and,
Yes.
and it does work. We actually had it off, set off at the bridge one night. Me and my dad was there, and uh, it's actually a little short clip on my channel. If anybody wants to go check it out, it's really funny. Everybody laughs at it. Uh, I try to keep it family friendly. I don't say no bad words, but one night I did say a bad word because it kind of startled me. Whatever we heard, I do not know what the
Yeah.
sound was, but I mean it was really crazy. But the bridge gave us a lot of stuff. We do have some pictures of faces that we've seen, some eyeballs that we've seen. Uh, the big scream that we heard that one night. I've been pinched on the bridge and everything. So um, my buddy Michael that was with us, he got sick on the bridge at one time. He didn't feel like he wanted to do anything, but after he got out there for a while, it was kind of nerve wracking because I didn't know if he was going to make it or not.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. And now is there a bridge? Like did somebody pass away on the bridge or
yeah.
by the bridge?
Uh, they used it as a dump site. Uh, I think it's more like a mob type deal. They they found 18 bodies buried in a shallow grave,
Oh my
tied up, and like two shots in the head.
goodness.
Yeah,
That definitely sounds like the mob. Yeah.
oldest the oldest body that they found was from the 30s,
Wow.
and they found them in the 80s, somewhere in the mid 80s or somewhere like that, early 90s, and the oldest one they found was from the 30s. So I think reason I'm thinking that they was there, they had saw something other that they shouldn't be seen, and they kind of got rid of it before they got caught from the cops and stuff like that.
Hmm. Wow. Many spirits might be
Yeah,
in
yeah. I think
that
there's because
area.
we used to go to a place called Peggy's house there on the bridge, and we kind of think that's a portal. The spirits stop off in and there and everything. They go back to the bridge and stuff and go like that.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
we think they use that as a stopping off place till the portal opens up and then they can travel again.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. So have you ever been like sure who somebody was, anything that they've, like said or done that you were like, oh, that was so and so?
Um, no, I don't know of anybody in that area, so I don't know if uh, anybody that I know personally has traveled through there or nothing like that. Uh,
Hmm.
I I do think there's something there that uh, we don't really know who we're talking to. We can be talking to anybody. That's the same like in the past, people ask me, say, "Hey, can you come and to my family cemetery and talk to my mom or my dad or my brother or whatever?" 5% you might be talking to them. The other 95% you don't know who you're talking to.
Right.
It's kind of hard to specify who you want to talk to. And the only way that we know that we're talking to your mom or your dad or your sister or whoever, they got to know something personally about you that nobody else in the world or any other spirit knows about. And if they can give
Right.
that to us, and if we asked the person that we was at, like, was your name Bigfoot or something other nickname they called you in school or whatever, and if
Hmm.
that's it, we about 5% that we're talking to somebody that you know.
Hmm. I guess too, it depends on how strong the spirits are, whether who would be able to come through and you would be able to, talk to or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever had like a seance or anything like that where, um, people talk to the spirits or whatever that you were aware of?
No, I've never been to a seance or any kind of stuff like that. I do have a few people that comes in the chat that helps me out a little bit, tells me what they feel, what they see, or whatever like that to help us out. Uh, I'm not a big believer in mediums or anything like that or psychics, but I do believe there's somebody does have gift. It's not everybody, but some people does have gifts.
Right. Well, what about like how does your family, like your wife and your kids, how do they feel? Like, are you ever afraid after you've been out at the bridge or whatever? Are you ever afraid of those spirits following you home or anything like that?
Most time I don't be afraid because, like I said, when before I go, I don't show it on camera. But when I pull up at the site where we get ready to investigate, I do my prayers right then and there.
Hmm.
Sometimes I do it before I go live, and then after we get done leaving, sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. And I'll say, "Hey, spirits, y'all stay here. Y'all not allowed to follow us. You're not allowed to be attached to our equipment or me or my dad or the truck or whatever. You stay here. We will come back and visit you."
Yeah.
And then I'll pray again, but I'll be off camera because I want to make sure that the spirits understand me.
Yeah.
So, but my wife, she's not really a spirit believer like that. She's more of a religious type person, but she's
Hmm.
not. But she does support me because this is something I want to do, and she's really been a big blessing to keep me going and supporting and stuff like that. And when we go out and we come back in and everything, she'll ask, but she don't really like to watch the investigations and stuff like that.
Yeah. I would think it might give you bad dreams or something too sometimes, So that would probably be what I would think. I would be like, yeah, no, I don't think I really want to, see it. We have Dark Light Paranormal and Lisa Knits. and Abyss Paranormal and Kenny Weaver. Thank y'all so much for coming in. I really thought that we'd have people on my side with some questions for you, but then again, it may be too early. Some people tend
Yeah.
to not see that, see the live right away. So hopefully some people will come in and we'll get to talk some more about specific things. Um, your mom passing away. Do you have other family members that have passed away that you may be able to contact?
Um, I do have some few family members. My dad's brother and my mom's sister. My grandma and grandpa. I would love to talk to my grandma, uh,
Hmm.
but like I said, it's kind of hard saying that if we are talking to her because one night we had a flashlight sitting on top of my grandma and grandpa's grave, and we asked questions and it come on and off.
Oh,
But still, I can't put my faith in that we was talking to her.
yeah. You
So
were talking
that's
to somebody,
yeah,
but maybe, maybe her, maybe not her.
yeah.
That's really,
My best friend, I I would love to talk to him again, and and see if we can't communicate and talk about the good old days when he was here and stuff like that.
yeah,
But because we did a lot of stuff together and everything like that, and that will be interesting to see what he has to say.
yeah. Do you think that people can come back and forth in a spirit form? Or do you, because I know a lot of people say that like they haven't passed over and that they're
Yeah,
stuck here. Um, hey, there's the source. Welcome in. And I always wondered about that. If the spirits that people are able to communicate with, if they've actually maybe been on the other side and have come back, or if they're just stuck here and haven't moved on.
yeah. I think they do come here, but I think they have passed on, but some are still waiting to go. But I think they do when they do go. I think they do come back uh, to check on you. I know my mom's come back. I was laying in bed sleeping one night, and then my wife woke me up and said, "What's wrong? What are you doing?" I said, "I ain't doing nothing. I'm sleeping." I was talking to my mom, and she was standing at the foot of my bed. And I looked around. My mom was gone, and my wife said I started crying.
Mm.
And I talked to my best friend one time, like I mentioned earlier. He came and visited me before I even got married and left home. So,
Well, I
but
know I had a situation with my dad after shortly after he'd passed away. And, it happened in the daytime. So I was asleep, but then again, I could have dozed off and it could have been a dream, but it just seemed so real.
yeah,
And the things that he told me were things that before he told me those things, I didn't know
yeah,
anything about him. So I don't know how I would have, you know, dreamt
yeah,
that or whatever. So it is, it's kind of like if they can come back, I wish that they would make more of a attempt, to kind of let us know if they've where they've been and what they've done and what they've seen. And but I
yeah,
do believe my dad is with me all the
yeah.
time. You know.
That's they're we got spirits walking around us all the time, 24/7. They ain't and they we just don't know who they are until sometimes they'll let you know who they are if they want you to know. Vicky says my family come back to help with support and comfort. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I think if you believe, that they can be around you, that you will be able to feel their presence around you. I think
Yeah,
it's the people who don't really believe in it. They can't really tell
yeah.
or
I
whatever.
I think there's a lot of people that has experience. They don't want to talk about it.
That's probably true.
They they don't want to. They don't want to be the one to believe in it because they don't know how people would react to their story, thinking that they're crazy and stuff like that. Uh, that is a big factor. I believe everybody has experienced one time, but they just don't know what. They don't know if it's experience or what or whatever.
Hmm.
Everybody's got something happen to them somewhere in their lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, like I was telling you about my aunt, and I mean, I can remember my mom, which was her sister, saying, "Don't believe what she says, she's crazy," you know. But I don't really think she was crazy. I think it's just that she was more open to experiencing things, even
Yeah,
things that, because some people, they have to be able to see it in black and white, and have concrete proof of
yeah,
something. And then other people can just, they go with a feeling, or
yeah,
and I think she was more that kind of a person, that whether she could explain it or not, she still believed something was
yeah,
happening.
yeah,
Yeah, it's very interesting. And I think you're right. A lot of people, it's kind of like, if you talk about it, they are kind of like, I don't know if that's true or not. You
yeah.
know. Now, do you, when you go out and investigate, y'all, do you try to record like the voices or the sounds that you hear?
Most time I do when I can remember. I have my recorder with me. I
Mm-hmm.
normally have it with me, but it's in my pocket, and I don't realize I had it in my pocket till I get back in the truck and go to the house.
Oh, okay.
But most of the time I do. Uh, when I went to the family cemetery, Vicky knows this. Uh, I left it there one night, and it was raining, and I accidentally left it on the tombstone behind us, and I forgot all about it because I never really use it that much to know I have it with me. And I
Mm-hmm.
just cut it on and let it record and left it there, and it sat there for like 5 hours. And I went back in the rain and picked it up, and it was still going. And all I got 5 hours worth of crickets hollering.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's weird. Huh.
but I I don't really use because most time when people say they hear something or it's already been recorded on the videos and stuff like that, I
Yeah.
don't edit none of my videos because to me in the paranormal field, if you edit your videos and put in where people hears where you want people to hear stuff, I think it's messing with the real evidence.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I think it ought to be 100%
Yeah,
legit, whatever it is,
yeah.
whether you.
In the paranormal, it's a people they do judge it. They say you're fake or you're real, and
Mhm.
paranormal is a rough field to try to stay in and keep it going and keep you motivation up and keep you sanity up and stuff. Because once one person says it's fake, they everybody start believing it.
Yeah. And how do the other people that have channels? I see a couple of them by their names. I can tell they probably have channels too. But
Yeah.
um, how are they encouraging of what you're doing, and want to help and things like that, or is it more kind of like, well, you might not be legit, so we're going to keep to ourselves?
Yeah. Um, a lot of the channels I do watch, some I do have a if about it, but I don't go on there and say, "Hey, this is fake" or anything like that. I just watch and I'll keep it in the backside of my head. But a lot of people that comes into mind are legit people. I do trust what they're saying, like Spirit Brothers or Abyss Paranormal. Uh, you know, for example, it's just lot of people out there are faking stuff, and you can really tell how things is difficult. When we go out, we don't get something every time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Spirits don't act every time. I went to the bridge one night for about 2 weeks, didn't get nothing. It was just calm as a cucumber. Now, if we go back like right now, we
Mhm.
might not get anything. But if we go back next weekend, everything will be jumping off the table, you know.
Yeah. But I think that's how you can tell it's real
Yeah,
because there is no rhyme or reason to when stuff happens and when it doesn't happen.
yeah,
And I think you're right. If somebody, says that every time they go out somewhere or whatever that they're having those interactions, I
yeah,
don't know that I would believe that either, that they were doing it every single time.
yeah.
So,
It's hard to get something because we sat there and we begged Gizmo to go off at places, but then sometimes as soon as we set it down and get everything set up, it'll go off before the cameras gets rolling. The other night when we was at the woods, I was got the camera and everything done, got everything cut down, the videos done cut off, the live stream and everything. And as soon as it went off, Gizmo went off.
it's like playing a joke on you, huh?
They
Like you wanted to capture that on camera, and we're not going to let you.
they play with you. They will
Yeah,
mess with you.
yeah.
And one night was on the bridge. I was doing the live, and all of a sudden went over to Don Yarndall's channel, and I was live. And how it went to her channel is beyond me.
Hmm.
Then I had to figure out finagle to get mine back channel back going, so I wouldn't lose everybody on the channel. But it did it. I was live doing the video like it's right here on the
Hmm.
bridge, and all of a sudden it just jumped right over and watched Don Yarndall's channel.
Huh. That is strange.
It was crazy. I think
Yeah.
the bridge is lots of crazy stuff happening there at that place.
Yeah. It's I would I don't know. I would go, but I think if I did see or hear something, I would be like, okay, that's enough. You know, get
Yeah,
scared probably.
yeah. That it's. I wouldn't gonna say it's fun. I'm gonna say it's a little more educational. You know, it is fun, but I'm just gonna say it's more educational too. It's more or less about the history,
Yeah.
cemeteries and stuff like that. You know, and uh, hopefully that we get to venture out into other places and do a lot more stuff.
Hmm. Are there any like haunted houses or anything near where you live?
There's several here, but a lot of people don't want you to go to their houses stuff like that because they do have posted signs up,
Yeah.
and there's people around here crazy.
Well, I don't know of any here in the area I live, but now I know in Savannah, Georgia, there are some places there because there's actually like ghost tours that you can go on and stuff.
Yeah,
So I don't know about that. I think that would be kind of fun to do too.
yeah,
Um, but then again, when you're out actively looking for things, that's when they're not gonna show themselves.
yeah,
They're not gonna want to do it unless they want to have the attention.
yeah.
Jonathan, have you ever done famous people places?
Um, we have done John Martin's Revolutionary War hero. John Martin, you know the movie Patriot is based on him, his life. Uh, the Rock House, that's where he lived at. He built it in 1740 something other, and it's really interesting place. I've been to his grave also, and that's where I got a big gust of wind about knocked me out of my shoes on the ground. Yeah,
Oh my
my dad was
goodness.
standing right behind me there, and I just can reach out like this and touch my dad. That's how close he was. And I was leaning over. We was on Facebook at the time. I didn't even have the YouTube channel started, and I just leaned over into the chat like that right there and see who come in. And as I lift up, whatever it was just went plumb through me, just hard as it can go.
Oh,
Uh, it we just had come out of a rainstorm, a bad storm. A lot of energy still in the air, but wind wasn't blowing. It wasn't lightning or anything. There was no electricity around over in that area because the storm knocked out the power everywhere, and
oh,
so it was just a crazy. I think I was in a portal part of a road where John Martin has traveled, and he was running to get his troops up, you know, on his horse, and I believe I was standing in the front of him that day.
wow.
I don't
Could,
know if that's
yeah,
true or not, but that's
yeah,
what I
but
found.
yeah, it could, fit with the ties, but like you said, the wind wasn't blowing, so it wasn't like a gust of wind blew up on you or whatever. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't just fall over, like trampled on. Yeah. Wow.
Till this day, I don't know really how to explain it or tell you how it felt. That's just what I can come up with.
Hmm.
but,
Yeah.
but
And
John Martin, that's the movie Patriot is based on him.
I don't, because I don't think I've ever seen it. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have seen things um, that they can't explain, and they just, they're not, they don't know what it was or
Yeah,
what happened. Just know that certain things happen that are, unexplainable or whatever around
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Annie Mama's Kitchen and Divergent Crafter. Welcome, welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Well, I am so glad that you decided to come and be my guest. And I'm going to come over and be your guest let's see, on the 16th, on a
Yeah,
Sunday night. And that'll be fun. We'll talk about some of the strange things that have happened around me.
that's cool.
I like I said, I definitely believe it's, real, and it could happen to anybody. I think, it's
Yeah.
whether or not you pick up on it or not. You were telling me earlier about people in different states that kind of help you and work with you. Have they gone anywhere like that you didn't get to go, or when they go out somewhere you get to go to?
Um, when my back in I don't know 2023, 2022, somewhere like that, when my dad was in the hospital. Uh, Before I actually put him in the hospital, I had to go to Virginia, out and run up Virginia to do an investigation at two houses, and we was at one of them at night, and we had this thing called Phasma box that's hooked to the tablet, and I was upstairs with one of the guys with the minister of the group, and we was up there and doing an investigation, and my aunt, my cousin, and my dad and all them, they was downstairs, and we had some crazy stuff up there, and we decided we gonna go on down and switch out and stuff like that, and was all sitting there in the kitchen, and it kind of got a little rough in there with through the spirits, and they was actually cussing us out. The spirits was, and that one said, "Watch him," and we all looked at each other when we asked, "Watch who?" and said him, and it said my dad's name. And that night, I rushed from uh, Roanoke, Virginia, back to Mount Airy, North Carolina, 2.5 hours, and I was driving like 90 miles an hour down that Highway 77, uh, Interstate 77, actually, and it was just I was beating my dad. I was crying. I was punching him. I was shaking him. I was hollering at him. I was screaming at him. He wouldn't there wake up.
Oh my gosh.
And I got him to the hospital, and I told him, I said, I ain't gonna sit in there and start filling out no paperwork. You can take him right on back. And I pulled up there where the ambulance unloads at, and they come
Hmm.
fire hugged my dad and got him out and put him in a wheelchair and took him in there, and they was had him in the bed, had him in the room within like 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ended up being wrong.
Uh, I don't know. Only reason why I took him because we was at our hotel room at night, and he couldn't even get his legs up on the bed. I mean, his legs look like 5 gallon buckets.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I was talking to one of the paranormal people that I always talk to, paranormal consultant Matt Barron. He's from PA, and I was talking to him, and all of a sudden I said, "Man, I gotta go. I gotta get going. I gotta take my dad to the hospital right quick." And it seemed like I turned two hour ride into like 10 minutes where I felt.
Oh wow.
I was coming down the mountain just to get in it. I didn't even touch the brakes. I was swerving through cars like you're on a racetrack, you know.
Yeah, wow. Well, I'm glad he was okay.
Yeah, he's good. I think it pretty much his body contained a lot of water and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and different things, and it was really, really a wild experience.
Oh, that's a good question. Divergent Crafter says, "Do you feel the spirit was negative or trying to help?"
Um, I believe that night that one that told us that was trying to help because that night I thought I'd lost my dad. They wouldn't. The doctors tried to come and get me, and they couldn't talk to me because they said I was squalling and crying and everything else. But
Mm.
I don't remember filling out any paperwork, which I don't think I did fill out paperwork for my dad to be checked out at the hospital.
Hmm.
Uh, the nurses, they tried to get me calmed down. They put me in another room so that I wouldn't disturb other patients or other people sitting in the waiting room, and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But I think I stayed all night long up there, I believe.
Hmm. Hi, Phoenix Fireside. How are you doing? Good to see you. Um, yeah, I feel like they were trying to help because you might not have even realized, that anything
Yeah,
was going to be wrong with them. And if you had waited too long, you
yeah.
know, no telling what could have happened, especially since you couldn't even, get them awake or
Now,
anything.
if
So,
I hadn't had a seatbelt around him, he'd been in a floorboard. That's how he's done humped over. He's
mm,
done gone. I mean, but it's crazy how things played out. Uh, I still think till this day that it was really really different. Gave me more different outlook on the paranormal. Also, as in when I do my next investigation, I try to do something a little bit different than normal, and I watch other people and I try to do some of their things off screen to see if I'm going to be comfortable with that. Then next time I might try to do something like that while I'm live and stuff like that.
hmm yeah, I really give you a lot of credit for going out there and, putting yourself in that situation because what, like you said, who is who you're going to be really having contact with,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's we try to encourage people to come out with us to give, especially the ones that don't really do a lot of believing in the paranormal. Uh, but it's kind of hard to let them know if they don't understand it until they be there and experience it themselves. Uh,
Yeah.
I can go to the grocery store and some people will look at me and think it's the coolest thing, slice of bread. And next time I'll go and I'll get criticized. I'll say, "Oh, you don't need to be going out there and doing that rich witchcraft and stuff." I ain't witchcraft. I ain't got no pots and herbs and different other things out there messing with.
Right.
You know,
Divergent Crafter said a lot of people feel all spirits are negative, but I disagree. Yeah, I don't think they're all negative either. I think they're a lot of them are there to help and for that kind of thing. Um, but I thought of can sense things and are more aware of their surroundings and what's going on. And then I think we let ourselves get kind of distracted to where, we're really not paying that close attention and something could happen to you.
yeah.
And maybe those spirits are there to kind of help, keep you from being in that situation. Hello, Kayla Boo. Welcome for coming in. Thank you very much. Um, yeah, because it's so easy. I've been doing some reading about mindfulness and how we live so much present in our own life experiences, and that it's so easy to let your mind wander. And so I can definitely see how people would um, not believe what they're seeing because they're really not paying attention.
Yeah.
Their mind is wandering all over the place. So I've been doing some reading on that and trying to learn how to bring yourself back to the present moment where you focus what's going on right then in that moment.
Uh, Vicky asked if I decided to work the global ghost hunt. Um, I'm still up in the air about it. I want to find a good location before I do the global ghost hunt this year. Uh,
And what is the global ghost hunt?
there is a bunch of teams from around the world that joins, and they do 2 hours worth of investigation on live, or they put up a video, and it's like a week or 7 days or something like that, full of different teams investigating and everything like that.
Oh, wow.
It's it's a lot of people that has good channels, good videos, and good group, good bunch of people that has the same beliefs in the paranormal and they're passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking about it. I don't know exactly where or what, but I'm probably will be deciding this week and making sure uh, about that.
Well, it sounds interesting. It sounds like it'll be something fun to watch.
They be some all over the world. Vicky and them's going to do it. Abyss Paranormal,
Mm-hmm.
uh, probably paranormal consultant that probably will do his stuff. The owner of the Global Ghost Hunt, the man that created it, Brian John Laverty, he's going to probably do one too this year. Uh, it's just a lot of people from Canada, U.S., the UK, everywhere is going to be joining in on it this year.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. And when is it supposed to happen?
Around October, I think I saw October 16th. Well, yeah, through 26th.
Okay. Well, make sure that you put it on the community board and stuff so that we'll know about it because that'd be something interesting to
Yeah,
watch, especially something that lasts for 10 days. That's going to be
yeah. It's gonna
Be a lot of good content to
it's gonna
watch.
be cool because it's starting on my mom and dad's wedding anniversary, the October 16th, and it's gonna end 2 days before my birthday.
Oh wow.
It's gonna be fun.
That will be a good
Yeah.
time. And Divergent Crafter said, I want to see more hunts of town squares because most town squares have ghost stories.
Oh yeah. I'm I'm
Yeah.
thinking about going up in town here where I live at. The courthouse is right in the center of the town square. The old courthouse till they built a new one. But I got a
Hmm.
feeling there's a lot of stuff happening in that building because everything that's in our county history is there. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking that there's going to be something there that's really crazy.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
It yeah. It would be really fun to like you said, the educational part of it, to study about your area's
Yeah,
history and everything, and see,
yeah,
see what happened in the past.
yeah,
I'm going to check into that stuff in Savannah though, because that's interesting that they've got to have some history
yeah,
of things that have happened there in order to get people to want to come and check it out,
yeah.
you know.
There's a
So that'll be
there's
interesting.
probably a thing called like ghost tours, ghost walks. We have them here. I
Mhm.
think there is one in Savannah, Georgia, but we have them here
Mhm.
in the town above me where we go to every once in a while to the big cemetery, and they do the ghost walks, but they don't take you over the whole thing that where stuff happens. That they just go down uh, downtown Main Street, and that's it. You know.
Oh.
So,
See, I'd want to get close to something. And I like the idea that you said about going to a prison,
yeah,
you know. That would be pretty cool too.
yeah,
Yeah. There's got to be a lot of places that are well kept secrets,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
because nobody, tried to go check it out or
yeah.
whatever. But it would be pretty interesting. Hi, Huga Homestead. How are you? We are having a conversation about paranormal stuff. She
Yeah.
said your town square's history usually has public hangings. Yeah.
I think they did have some here
Hmm.
back in the day when the county first got started.
I'm sure they did.
But
Ah,
I had to look into that because I hadn't really thought about that. So we did have one hanging here. It's called one of the guys got hung named Allison, and they have a fruit stand. Well, we call it a fruit stand here. That's where they sell vegetables and fruits and all that stuff. Uh, they call it the Allison tree, and there's been pictures posted up of a man hanging in a tree, and that's how they got the name of the fruit stand, Allison
ah.
tree.
Hmm. Yeah, and I wonder that too. Do you think that depending upon person passes away, if that is, makes a difference on if their spirit is like can go and rest, or if their spirit is anxious or excited because of, like, if they died because of a crime or something, you
Yeah.
know.
Um, I've I think that the most time the spirits are staying here after their death and stuff. I think they stay here to see if they gonna get justice done. Um,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
just my opinion. Because one of the guys I had on my show, he used to live in a funeral home, and he said there's a
Hmm.
lady come to his in his living room and staying until the verdict of what happened to her till the justice come, and then she left, and he never seen her again.
Oh, wow. Hey, PJ's Wish,
So
welcome.
I
Yes.
think that's what I think that's what happens. I don't know.
PJ's Wish is saying, make sure that you cloak yourself with prayer and pray up before you start. Feeling ill could be a warning of a negative spirit.
Yeah,
So yeah, and you did say that you do pray beforehand and afterwards.
yeah.
So
We pray, and we got some. I got my dad a bunch of stuff. He sounded like Mr. T walking through the woods. I got him all kinds of protections, and uh, we got sage and some other stuff in our bucket. We got two things. We got a first aid kit and a spiritual aid kit, is what we call it. So
yeah,
whatever we need.
that's good. My friend Norma, that her channel is Real Life Happens. They bought this 100-year-old house, and they were taking pictures of the house before they bought the house, or
Yeah,
maybe they just bought the house. But anyway, upstairs in one of the bedroom windows is a little girl standing in the window, like a long time.
yeah,
But when they did the picture, you can see her in the window. Freaky,
yeah,
freaky, freaky. But Norma said that she stays pretty much upstairs, like she doesn't wander the house or anything.
yeah.
She pretty much stays up in that one bedroom. Hello, Brody. Welcome. Abyss Paranormal said, I believe that's why the spirits hang down the bridge trying to see that just could be,
Yeah,
being, if it is like what you, the dumping ground for the and everything. Wow,
yeah,
that I didn't think about that, but that could very well be, um, that they are trying to see if justice is going to be done or not.
yeah. It's just a theory. I mean, I could be wrong, but I've just got a feeling. I've heard too many people talk about that. Like the guy that was on my show a while back. He told us about that woman coming to visit him in his living room. He lived in a funeral home, and just as soon as the trial was over with and the justice had been done, that's when he said he'd never seen her again.
That's that's something, to make you think that that could very well be,
Yeah,
what she was waiting on to find
yeah.
out. Kenny said, Jonathan, when is your next investigation going to be?
Uh, I'm not really sure yet. Might be this coming Wednesday. We're going to try either head to John Martin's or Daniel Boone's parents' grave. It'll be a little bit early in the day when we do that.
It's good that there's places, less than a day away from you that you
Yeah,
can go, um, to be able to do stuff like that. Like I said, I don't know of anything around, really close to where I'm at.
yeah,
Um, Now I'm sure, like in Atlanta, bigger cities, I'm sure there's lots of stuff, But I live in a little one traffic light town, so there's probably not a whole lot that's gone on around here. At least not that. But it would be very interesting. I would love to go and just see. Um, oh, now let's see. Divergent said, I believe spirits stay for different reasons, some for justice, some out of fear, some out of love, and can't leave family, just like the reason the living do the same thing. And Brody says, I have a haunted teddy bear. He sits on my bed with me. Ooh. I have a doll that is from the same year I was born, 1963. So she's 62 years old. And I pulled her eyelashes out and I cut her hair off and stuff, when I was a kid. And
Yeah.
my granddaughter kind of thinks she's haunted. She's just really ugly, but she's
Yeah.
not really haunted. But my granddaughter's like, "Oh, she's scary." No, she's not. She's just a doll.
Yeah, I don't do too good with dolls. My mom had when she was a little girl. She had a walking doll. And my mom, she grew up in the 50s and stuff, and back then they had these tall, life size dolls,
Mm-hmm.
and you can grab and hold the hand, and it will walk with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm scared of dolls anyway. And I was laying in the floor in the back bedroom when I was living at home, and we was me and my brother was there. We was laying in the floor listening to the radio. My mom's, we was all sitting there talking and everything. And she didn't tell me that the doll was underneath the bed. I thought, oh my good gracious, if that thing was starting moving, or I hear it holler, or the arm come up underneath that bed, this white boy is going to be going.
I can just imagine.
I
Oh my
was,
goodness.
I'm terrified of dolls, and that would be something that would be a whole nother scare to me.
PJ's Wish says, Echo, I have spirits who walk through my yard, and of course, my house is usually busy with my spiritual work. Yeah, I hope they're all good spirits. I would
Yeah,
hate for, negative ones to, you know, attach to you or hang around you. Um, but that's like I said earlier, if you believe that there are spirits, you have to believe that there are good and bad,
yeah,
you know. So kind of take your chance because you're not sure what you're, dealing with. Like you said, it's not like they announce themselves, I'm so and so, here's my ID, So you
yeah.
don't really know who you're talking to.
And also, you really don't know who's been there before you neither. There's people been using Ouija boards and stuff like that, and do all this kind of weird stuff that shouldn't ever really be doing. I don't use a Ouija board for nothing. I don't like them. I'm pretty much terrified of them because you can open them up and you might not get it closed back right. You know,
Mm.
they've been some crazy things happening with Ouija boards.
PJ's Wish says the negative I release to Father God in heaven. Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. I don't know. I guess I feel the spirits that I feel around me are I know that they're for good and protection. They're not, evil or trying to do anything, evil like that.
Yeah.
They're
I'm going to check the game right quick, see who's winning.
okay.
Oh yeah, we're winning now. Thank you, Lord.
What's
Thank
the
you.
score? What's the
Uh,
score?
Duke's got 49. Carolina's got 52.
Hmm. Just
Yeah, it's
barely winning.
yeah, just barely. I hope and pray that they take it home. Dude, I'm
is
gonna hold
that
my.
is that football or basketball?
It's basketball. This is
Bas-
the biggest rival in ACC, so
Okay.
I can
I
go to
might
work tomorrow. Head
throw
hanging.
off. I have a friend in Sweden that watches ice hockey. Him that,
Oh yeah,
I only like baseball, and he was like, "You have never watched ice hockey. Once you watch that, you'll be rooting for, ice hockey." So I don't know.
yeah.
Basketball, I just get confused trying to watch the ball going back and forth. But anyway, we've been on here for a little over an hour, and I know you want to go watch that game, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you
fine. I,
again.
I got it on phone.
uh, let's see. My bear hissed at me at one night about 1 a.m. Yeah, Brody, I would be getting rid of that bear. I wouldn't have it in my house.
Yeah,
If I thought it was haunted or whatever, I
that's just
definitely wouldn't.
that's just like when I said about Gizmo. I got him in the back seat, but if that thing starts to hollering, and I got him cut off. Now, if he starts hollering, screaming, or moving, he's gonna be sitting on the side of the road in the morning time when I'm going to work.
Yeah, most definitely. PJ's Wish says, my main work is with the living. Thank goodness. Yes, thank goodness. And somebody said that there's a lot of animal spirits, and there's always a red-tailed hawk around them. Native wild man said that. I've often wondered about that too. I had a German Shepherd that died unexpectedly after he got out of the fence and got hit by a car.
Yeah,
And I was really close to that dog. And sometimes, which I got the dog that I have now after that.
yeah,
But sometimes I can feel that dog's spirit, and I know it's not my little dog that I have now. So
yeah.
I don't know about all that.
It was a conversation brought up one night that I was in a chat. I can't remember. It wasn't on my show. It was another show I was a guest on about animals. And animals does see a lot of things that we can't see, and that's how we know. And I was always wondering if I can take an animal out to see. Like now, if I take my cats out, they wouldn't do nothing. They would just stay around my feet. They wouldn't
Yeah.
investigate me. But my pig, now if I took him out, he would just lay down and sleep.
Well, I- my dog does bark a lot at weird times, and also sometimes it's like I think she sees something,
Yeah,
because it's like she will have been perfectly quiet. The house is quiet, and all of a sudden she'll stand up, especially like in the middle of the night when we're sleeping. She'll stand up in the bed and be like barking, towards the bedroom door or whatever. And sometimes I'll be able to get her to calm down, and then other times it takes her a good, 5 or 10 minutes. She's just there barking at something.
yeah.
I'm like, whatever it is, go away. We're trying to
Hey,
sleep in here. Hi, married in Arkansas. I always want to say married with children, that TV show, when I see your name.
thanks everybody for coming on my that's on my side. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out. But please go over and get on Echo's channel for me.
Married in Arkansas says, I believe dogs can see spirits. I think they can. I know they have so much better hearing than we do, you know.
Yeah,
Brody said, I have a Ouija board, but it doesn't work for me. Careful with that.
yeah.
Be really, really careful.
There is some rules about the Ouija board that you have to follow, and I mean, I'm not a Ouija board person, but they say can't be same sex around there, like two men or two women. It has to be like a man and a woman for it actually has an effect on things.
Hmm.
Yeah, it can't be like 10 men sitting there with their hands on it, or 10 women sitting there with their hands on
Mhm.
it. It has to be mixture before they work. That's just what I was told in the past, but I never got out there and used it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not done any, investigating or research about it, but
Yeah,
um, I do believe it works off of energy, and that may be why it has to be male and female energy, for it to work. I don't know.
yeah,
That's really interesting. Um, but I don't know. I've never like wanted to go to a séance or anything like that. I always feel like they're fake. And especially when you see them on television, like in a movie or something, it
yeah,
just seems so fake.
yeah,
But I think you have to believe that somebody might come through, or you're
Yeah.
not, it's not going to happen. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I would be too afraid to even, attempt to do it. I wanted to go to like a palm reader or um, something like that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm afraid. I think I would find out if I found out something scary. I think I would be afraid. It's better not
Yeah.
knowing some things.
Right. Right.
So I don't know. But now my dad was not somebody who ever talked about spirits or anything. Now, like my Aunt Pat, she would say, if there's a way to come back and contact somebody, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
She would tell you that from the get go that, she was going to make the attempt to do it. But my dad never, said anything like that or anything. So it's like I would think I would feel my Aunt Pat's spirit more, if she is able to come back than my dad. But
Yeah.
I definitely feel my dad stronger than I feel anybody.
Yeah.
Mary does, what devices do you use, Jonathan, or do you not use anything Walker?
Um, I use spirit boxes, SB7s, uh, and different other little gadgets that we have, the spirit balls or cat toys, whatever you want to call them. Then I have Gizmo, and I've got flashlights every once in a while I'll use. And we actually built us a REM pod, so we use that. I don't use apps on the phone, anything like that, Spirit Talker or anything. I have one app on there that I used to use, but it never correlates to whatever I'm investigating at the time. But we try to use more of stuff that I can use because I don't have no other phone to use the apps on. I've got the one I use right here for my videos out and when we do our live investigations.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about like 7, 8, probably about 10 years old now. The phone is, and we we don't put a lot of faith into any kind of spirit talkers or anything like that on our phones, except for the Phasma box that we had on our tablet. It That night when it told me we need to take my dad, watch him, and look after him, that's when I believed in that app. And you pay like $40 some a year for that app,
Oh,
but it's legit. If it tells one of your members in your group to shut up and hush, you need to put a little into that one,
yeah. Yeah. Warren Area Society of Paranormal is here, and Wendy Girl, welcome, welcome. Um, I guess there's a lot more. Yours is the first channel that I ever heard of that does any of the paranormal kind of stuff. But I guess there's quite a few of them um, out there if you want to see some of that stuff. But I remember some of the things that I watched on your channel, and I'm like, yeah, it's legit enough for me, especially that chair thing. I was
Yeah.
like, that's just a little strange, but
Yeah.
uh, you know,
Especially when there ain't no electricity out there and it opens up.
and it had to have electricity to be able to move, or somebody had to have something to be
Yeah.
able to move that.
Yeah.
And what it is too is that it needs to be something people can actually, see that it happens. I think talk about, oh yeah, this happened, or we heard this, or we
Yeah.
married in Arkansas says, is there anything you have caught on video that proves without a shadow of a doubt that changed your mind?
Um, I've I've not caught it on video, but I've actually had experiences. We went to a sane asylum in Radford, Virginia, and me, my cousin, and I think the guy that was with us that night, we all witnessed a 3 foot shadow walk right past us, in between us, and went right past us, went past the bathroom area, and shot straight up the steps. We was down in the basement.
Ooh.
Uh, all three of us witnessed it. So at the time, I didn't film because they had a big thing on people putting stuff on YouTube and stuff like that. So they had a big stink over that. So we couldn't put it on thing if we was captured it
Mm-hmm.
because they would put us somewhere like we had to pay them to put it up on screen and this and that. And I wasn't about to give him no money
Right.
for my findings.
Hi, Kristen from Bella's Whisper Farmstead. Welcome. Um, but the three of you saw it, so it'd be different if one of the three of you
Yeah,
saw it. But the fact
yeah,
that all three of you saw it, saw the same thing.
yeah.
And did you leave right after that?
No, we stayed there for
I
about.
would have been like, okay, I saw enough. Let me go.
We was down in the solitary confinement area. This is where there's like had 3 levels of different types of patients. The first level you
Hmm.
come down, it wasn't really uh, patients that really need to be badly watched after. The doors you can count by the doors. The doors was like regular thickness. Then the next level you go down, the patients gets a little bit more rougher and they need more protection, so the doors gets wider in
Oh,
thickness. And then the last level where we was at, where we seen that at, and then the doors was about almost about a foot thick.
oh my gosh.
And that's where we was at. And the guy that was with us, he actually got scratched with 3 claw marks on his neck, sitting in that corner of that one room where we was at.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I would have been like, okay, this is
Brother or
not a
something.
good place, not a good place for us to be looking around.
Yeah. Spirit Brothers there, he caught some pictures for us when we was at the bridge. We caught 2 faces and some eyeballs shining out through there and stuff like that. They was in there live when we was actually there at the bridge when we heard them screams.
Oh wow. Hmm. Yeah, I think that's the thing. You got to be able to not
Yeah,
especially if you're, recording it and trying to, you don't want to freak out when it happens. But that's what I would be like. Ooh, this is too
After
crazy.
we heard the scream on the bridge, now I did run. I did get scared because I wasn't really expecting that. I wasn't expecting hearing anything until this
Yeah.
day. I don't know what it was. A lot of people says it was a banshee, and a lot of people said it's different other things, but I know it ain't an animal. I've listened to hundreds and hundreds of animal sounds and didn't sound like none of that. Uh, then me and Spirit Brother was talking, Daryl there. We was talking on the phone, and I was typing it on the computer of women screaming, scare scream, and we found one, and it actually sounded just like it, and just kept the same tone and uh, same length of the scream of
Mm.
like somebody's hollering like no, 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 don't shoot me, don't do this or that. That's what it sounded like, kind of scream.
Oh. Okay, PJ's wish you have a good evening too. Yeah, you. I mean, when things like sense things or see things or what, I mean, you can't have to.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, how much more real do you want it to be before you're going to say, yeah, okay, I believe that.
yeah,
But I know there's a lot of people who are very skeptical who won't believe no matter what it is. They're
yeah.
not going to believe. Um, but It's all, I've always been intrigued in it. Like I said, my aunt, she believed in poltergeist and um, she believed in everything. I mean, she was
Yeah.
really open minded when it came to spirits and that kind of thing. And I don't know. My mom always thought she was a little on the crazy side, but she never seemed crazy to me. She just really believed what she believed.
Yeah.
And my grandmother passed away, and I always wanted to ask my aunt if my grandmother had come to her or anything, and I didn't get a chance to before my aunt passed away.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, if anybody would come to her, could come to her, they would. And if she could come to anybody, she would definitely.
Yeah.
So, we got ugly dog lures.
Hey,
Welcome,
bud.
welcome. You guys got some weird names. I'm going to do a series on that. How do people come up with their YouTube name?
Yeah.
'Cause there are so many that have the weirdest, names. Just makes me wonder, how they came up with them. I wish I had been more creative with my name, but um, I didn't, I
Yeah.
wasn't. Mary in Arkansas says, I lived in a haunted house growing up. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. I've lived in a haunted house. My grandpa's been seen in there several times. But he didn't die in that house. In the 80s, they had put a mobile home in the yard of the old house that he lived in, and that's where him and my grandma was going to live at. But he died the year before I was born. He died in that back room of the trailer that we lived in, and I stayed there by myself. And I still say to this day that all them bumps and knocks and stuff I heard in there when I stayed there by myself, I believe that was him
yeah.
because that's where he died at. He died in that back bedroom, and that's where my mom and them's room was at, and that's where we was laying in the floor, and that doll was underneath the bed. And I had to think if that doll was coming out of that bed,
Mhm.
it. I'll
Yeah.
pack stuff up and I move, you know. But,
Yeah, I've never lived anywhere where I knew somebody had died or, anything like that.
yeah.
So, um, I know that would be, kind of freaky.
So I growed up and got married, and we built the house from the ground up, so we know ain't nobody living
So I want to make sure nobody died in this house. Hi,
Only
vote you
thing
did what? Welcome, welcome. It
closed.
is it is really good to see everybody coming out tonight on this Saturday night.
Yep, sure is. I do appreciate everybody coming on my side and hanging out.
Yes.
Y'all, please go over and check out Echo's channel right here. She is a good host, a great person. I've met her a while back, and I really enjoy watching her videos. I don't get over here very often, but I do.
Yeah, I try to watch people's videos, but it just seems like they come out so fast
Yeah,
that if you don't scroll back through the notifications, you'll miss them. And so a
yeah,
lot of times, if I go on somebody's channel and I'll look and I'll be like, oh, this sounds good. I haven't seen it, or whatever, and I'll get two or three of them to watch at a time. Hi, Moon over Miami, because I do like to watch, people's videos and be supportive. But it's hard when so many videos are coming out so
yeah,
fast. You know, I wish there was like a way that you could only see the ones of the people that you watch, not just the ones that you're subscribed
yeah,
to, but like you could set it for 50 channels that you really watch and
yeah.
just get their videos, but you can't do that. So
Yeah, Vicky's right. A lot of spirits come with the land. Yeah, I don't know if we got any here or not, but if they do, they're more welcome to stay outside, not in the house.
And Kenny is reminding us not to forget to turn our clocks ahead tonight. That's right. It is tonight, which means my 9 o'clock live will actually be an 8 o'clock live. So I hope I don't oversleep. My phone
Yeah,
will change by itself though, so I should be okay.
yeah,
I wish they would quit messing with the time though, but I have enjoyed it being daylight earlier, you
yeah,
know, as I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go
yeah,
over and pick up my granddaughter, and I leave about 5:30, and I'm to their house by 6, and I'm usually back home by about 6:45, but it's usually still dark, so it's like I go in the dark, I come home in the dark. But now it's been on the way driving home, the light, it's starting to get light.
yeah.
It's like, oh, good, maybe pretty soon I'll be driving home in the light instead of in the dark. Somebody said I thought it was the 30th of March. No, my calendar definitely says daylight savings time begins on the 9th.
Yeah.
So, but yes, here in the summertime, it stays daylight till like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So
I
it,
don't like I don't like that long time because I had seem like work goes by slow. I want her time I get there in the mornings and take my first break, and I start back work and it already says it's 7 o'clock.
yeah, it's funny when you don't work. It's like you can lose track of time so easily because you just, when you have a schedule to keep, it seems like your body is more can tell more like what's an hour or 2 hours or however long. Like I would wake up in the middle of the night because I work night shift, and at 2 o'clock in the morning is when we would go have lunch. And
Yeah,
so even after years after I had quit working, it was nothing for me to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and want to eat.
yeah,
And but then when once you don't have a schedule and you're not really keeping track of the time, it's like I had to my phone alarms to tell me remind me to eat because when I had my weight loss surgery, I would because you don't really get feeling hungry, and so I
yeah,
would just forget all about eating anything, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to actually remind myself, to eat something.
yeah,
So now that I've had the alarm set for it's been like 8 months, um, now it's almost like right before the alarm will go off, I'm like, I think it's about time to eat. And then the
yeah,
alarm will go off. So,
yeah,
but yeah, but I do think our bodies kind of keep track of like schedules
yeah,
and things like that. I know they say if you like work night shift and you get your internal clock messed up, it's
yeah,
hard to get that back straightened around. I
yeah,
used to sleep the best in the afternoon. I could never go to sleep in the morning right when I got off work.
yeah,
I would be like, I'm up. And then about the time that if you had went to bed in the morning that you would wake up in the afternoon or late afternoon, that's when I would fall asleep. And then I would like, oh, I didn't get enough sleep.
yeah,
Because I know my grandfather was with me this past Thursday. It was the anniversary of his passing. Yeah. I feel my dad on his birthday, on my birthday, um, different times like that,
yeah.
more stronger than other times.
There you go, Windy Girl. Everybody, please go pop on that link right there and do all the YouTube goodies. And next time she goes live, y'all get notifications. And like I said,
Come and visit me.
she got a lot of interesting guests comes on her channel and stuff. And
Yeah, I've been
I'm
trying to have a different guest every Saturday night. Um, it's though to get people to
it
agree to
is.
come.
I'm having I'm having the same trouble with mine.
Yeah. And a lot of people are, they tell you, yeah, they will. But then when you try to like say, okay, well, we really need to pin down a time,
Yeah,
you know, then they're like, well, let me think about it, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of people that I'm still trying to convince that they need to do it.
Yeah.
But it's fun to me to be able to meet other people and
It
get to
is.
know their community, and they get to know
It is.
mine. So
You're always welcome over on
it's
Cop's channel anytime as a guest, anytime you want to pop up to say hey.
to try to be better at getting over there to watch you when you're live. I know you go live a lot in the daytime,
Yeah.
early in the morning,
Yeah.
and I'll realize that you're live, and then I'll click on it, and you just ended, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I missed that one.
Uh,
I did want to ask you though, because you're monetized now, right?
yeah.
Well, somebody told me the other day, because I got this new little tripod thing, and I was going to use it in the car to be able to video when I was driving.
Yeah.
And somebody said that YouTube will not monetize videos when you're driving.
I don't believe that.
And I
Uh,
said, well, I hadn't heard that, but I didn't know. And I don't know that many channels that are monetized to ask them, but I know that you do a lot of, filming while
yeah.
you're driving or whatever.
Yeah. I if they don't like it, they can tell me. But I've only had two times that they tell me I had problem with my videos. It's when I used to use a intro that had music on it,
Yeah.
and they didn't like that, so they told me it wasn't going to be monetized. Or if they heard any kind of music in the background, they wouldn't want to monetize me. But the channel was monetized, but there's certain videos
Yeah.
is that they won't monetize to your channel. But far as driving, because there's a lot of people out there does it, and there's bigger channels
Yeah.
than me.
Well,
They
and
got
there's
over
a lot of
subscribers.
channels that are doing the DoorDash or
Yeah,
Uber or whatever, and now I know with Uber, because I have a friend that drives with Uber, and she can't video when she has a person in the car,
yeah,
a paying customer in the car. But like
yeah,
she can video in between picking people up or whatever.
yeah,
So I didn't know if that was true or not. Mona did what said that she's never heard that, and that there are a few truck drivers who are monetized.
yeah. See you
So,
later, Spirit Brothers. Appreciate you coming in, buddy.
and I thought, like Georgia has a hands-free state. So like if you get caught driving holding onto your cell phone, whether your cell phone is turned on or not,
Yeah,
they can write you a ticket.
yeah,
So that's why I bought this, because then even if I'm driving and I have my phone on there and I get a phone call, I can push the button to answer it, but
yeah,
I'm not actually holding the phone,
yeah.
And so then I thought,
That's
well, that,
that's the same way with me because I've got Velcro on bottom of my tripods, and I
mm-hmm.
got Velcro on the dash so it'll stick. Because if I don't, when I go around a curve, everybody be rolling across the dash.
That's what I wondered too. I thought, what if I have it on there and all of a sudden it goes, whoop,
Yeah,
everybody will be like flopped over or whatever.
yeah. Everybody have a headache after time they got done riding with me, but
But
you
see,
know,
this one, it does like the selfie stick thing or the
yeah,
tripod thing, because I have a hard time doing that too when I'm trying to hold the phone and
yeah,
walk. And then I'll either end up having a lot of ground and not what I thought I was
yeah.
getting. So
See,
I said, yeah, I definitely need something more
this here,
stable, you know.
this here's got like what they call a pistol grip. You just hold it in your hand,
Yeah. Yeah.
and get these at Walmart. If you got a Walmart near you, you can go to
Uh-huh.
Walmart and get them. It ain't about like $6.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I use. And it's also got a thing where you can put right here on the bottom where you can screw it on top of a tripod,
Uh-huh.
and it's good for that.
Oh, wow. So it would attach to this thing too, because
Yeah,
it actually came with like two different adapters to be
yeah,
able to put a camera or put something like that.
yeah,
But I just ordered some little clip-on microphones, and it plugs into the bottom of your cell phone. So I'm hoping that'll help because I don't have good sound on my phone.
Yeah.
And I was watching somebody's channel and they were saying that your video quality isn't as important as the sound quality. As long
Yeah.
as crisp sound, people keep, even if you're, um, your video gets blurry or, out of focus or whatever like that, periodically or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but I was trying to do, because I have the web camera that attaches to the laptop. And so I was trying to do something down here on the desk. And so I was tipping the laptop down, which it was showing what I was doing down here, but it was also having trouble focusing
Yeah.
because of it being bent down. So then I
Yeah.
had somebody to comment that my video was blurry.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So that's when I figured out. So that I was like, well, if I get this thing too, if I have it far enough away, it'll do down, so I can record that way or whatever. But I don't know
Yeah.
how these people do it that have it coming straight down over them, like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know how they have that, what kind of set or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know neither because the guy like Donald Blumdahl, that's what he uses. But he's in the bottom of the screen too, and I don't know how to do all that neither. So
Yeah.
he's got two cameras running, but I don't know how that works, how that plays out.
Well, now, and I did this the other day because I have two channels, right? And so I was like, I'll put my phone on one channel and then I'll be on this channel, and then I can let my channel on my phone come up as a guest. And that
Yeah.
way I would have a straight one and a sideways one, I
Yeah.
thought. But the audio was the problem because
Yeah.
it was, I would have to have the one of them off. And I was like freaking out. I was like, oh, I didn't, and it was making like a squealing noise and
Yeah.
stuff. And I was like, okay, you can't do that. You're going to have to turn the one on the phone, turn that sound completely off, and just let it be a camera. But here on Restream, I don't see a place to add a separate
Yeah.
camera. I know over on StreamYard, you could have more than one camera.
Yeah.
So you could have, you know,
I I liked StreamYard a whole lot better, but they went up on me.
me
I
too.
was doing $49. Now they went to $88 a month.
Well, see, I had the essentials plan $10, but I couldn't have stream to their
Yeah.
channel. I would have had to go to the next level.
Yeah.
So when they raised that up, I'm not paying that. So I got this restream $19 a month. I think if you can do a year, it's $16 a month.
Yeah.
But I pay for mine monthly. And so I was like, $19 is a lot better than 49 or
Yeah.
higher, and 10 people on at one time. So,
Yeah.
and they can stream to their channel, which is good.
Yeah. I've
But
got the $49 package on Restream.
the
I
which
got everything. I got the $49 one. Well,
49.
30. It's like 39 with tax and all or something. I don't know how it is, but $49
Mhm.
came out of my bank account. But I get everything. I got everything you can think of. I think it's like the professional plan or whatever.
Yeah, probably.
And but I try to get it where I can have a lot more opportunities to do stuff with in the future if I need to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can have 10 people on here and stuff like that, and
Hmm.
everything. And plus I can restream from my phone too,
Oh,
and
see, that's good.
because I can do that out on location when we get ready to do our Victorian picnic in the cemetery. I'm going to bring up 10 people on the screen, and we're going to talk about our food, our picnic stuff, and where we're at, the history of the location, and stuff like that while we're
Oh,
sitting there having
cool.
our picnic.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I think when I go live on my phone, I just use the YouTube, you
Yeah,
know, thing. I don't know how, I don't have Restream on my phone.
yeah,
Um, so I can't, do that or whatever. But It's just I pay for the Restream, I pay for Canva, I pay for something else. Anyway, my poor little YouTube check gets eaten up by my bills because I usually don't even get a check every month. I might get a check every other month,
Yeah.
you know. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, well, okay, I owe myself back money to pay these bills. So,
Yeah.
but I didn't start my channel to make any money, so I'm just thankful I make anything.
Yeah. That's me. I didn't really expect to be monetized, but it's it's actually went. I didn't expect my paranormal channel will be anything but 10, 15, 20 people followed me, but it actually growed, and it's still growing now, but now it's stepping back a few minutes, then it's going to go grow again, and it's going to step back a little bit.
Hmm.
Uh, but it ain't about the money for me. I just want to do this to have fun, meet a lot of people around the world, like the Spirit Brothers. I
Yeah,
met them, and everything like that. And so uh, it's all just about meeting people for us and going out having fun and spending time with my dad, and that's the main thing for me.
right.
Since he is 176 years old, and so I don't know how long he's going to be with me. So uh, I think him and Moses was best friends in school, I believe. So yeah,
Well, I didn't ever think I'd get monetized, really. I never even really
yeah,
thought about it, So I didn't really think about it. But I noticed that now a lot of channels are getting monetized really
yeah,
fast. But that's because I think YouTube has finally realized that they need to push people's stuff out,
yeah,
you know, in order for it to get
yeah,
seen. But I don't know how to get for those of us that have already got our channels. I don't know how we can get them to push our
yeah.
stuff out more.
I I've actually found out this way. You got to go into other channels. You got to make yourself known. You got to be out there, and it's not just in the community that you're in, like the paranormal community. You got to be in other places. I like to
Yeah.
watch people crochet, so I'm in crocheting channels and watching and hanging out and getting
Mhm.
knowing people and baseball card communities. I'm in Donald Blumdalls
Yep.
when I can get a chance to get over there, and a few other channels, and then I'm in a lot of others, paranormal channels, and a lot of fishing channels. And to me, and what I say in my channel is, I'm not separating everybody in different communities. We're all one family. I don't care if you got a paranormal channel,
Yeah.
or you like to show you cutting your toenails on camera or whatever. You still gonna be family.
Right. And that really is the key to it is getting in other communities as well,
Yeah,
because there's only so many people can be doing so many of the same kind of channels, and before people
yeah,
are going to be like, okay, I've seen 50 million of those,
yeah,
and want something different. So that's how I've always thought about it too, that I go in channels that interest me. I'm not going to go in a channel, just to watch it to be watching it, necessarily. But like
yeah,
I like the homesteading channels. I live in an apartment. Chances are I'll never do a homestead. But I
yeah,
grew up as a kid and we always had a huge garden, and my mom would can stuff and freeze stuff, and that kind
yeah,
I like that kind of stuff. So even though I may never do any of it, I like to hear about it and find
yeah,
out, what's new and that kind of thing. And I love looking at the little farm animals. I just
yeah,
think that's hilarious. Um, but I would go in the crochet channels too, and I never learned how to crochet. And I was like, I kept telling people I want to learn how to crochet, and they would give me channels that had tutorials, but they wouldn't say, "Well, I'll help you."
yeah,
So I finally met one lady, and we got to talking, and she was like, "Do you crochet?" And I was like, "I would love to, but I don't know how, and I can't
yeah,
seem to get anybody to help me learn." And she was like, "Oh, I'll help you." And so she started helping me learn how to crochet, and she's probably one of my best friends now.
yeah,
But it's just weird how you can meet people, And at first my daughter was like, you're never going to meet these people in person. They're from all over the world. You're never going to really know them. And I'm like, no, when you see people on live and you go on their channel and they come on your channel, you feel like you know them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I definitely enjoy meeting people from around the world. I just don't like the different time zones that
Yeah.
it throws me off, and I'll be like, well, I wonder why so and so didn't come in my live. And then I'll realize, oh, because it was at 9 o'clock at night and they're 6 hours ahead of us. So that was 3 o'clock in the morning, you know.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, never mind. But it's strange how, the time is so
Yeah.
different everywhere. And I went on somebody's New Year's Eve stream in Australia, and their New Year's Eve stream was actually like the morning of the day before New Year's for
Yeah.
us. And I was like, when is your stream? And she told me, and I was like, well, figure out when that'll be for me, so I'll know. And she was like, yeah, like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was like, Eve is your New Year's Eve. That was
Yeah.
so weird. But it was. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Whenever I message with her, I'm always like, what time is it? What day is it? 'Cause you never know. I
Yeah.
have some friends that are way ahead of me, some people who are way behind me. And then every once in a while somebody will come in and say, like, it'll be 7 o'clock in the evening here, and they're like, well, it's already tomorrow. Now it's like 8 o'clock in the morning here or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay. I won't be remembering that.
Yeah.
Um, Windy Girl says, I'm out a lot for Disneyland streams. It's funny going back and forth from Disneyland to paranormal. I bet. Oh, I am the noise opera. Hello, hello. Yeah, I bet that would be a big change.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to be calling out of work tomorrow. Carolina's losing big time now.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm going to get hammered pretty hard tomorrow.
Here where I live, we have a city high school and a county high school. And so they have a big rivalry between the two schools.
Yeah.
And when we first moved here, it's called the Wintersville Classic. And it's when those two teams play each other.
Yeah.
And it's like the whole town is divided. And it's like you have to know, which team do you root for?
Yeah.
And because I didn't go to school here, it didn't really matter to me. And so
Yeah.
when it was time for my daughter to go to school, I put her in the city school. And people at work were like, oh no, you messed up. She needs to go to the county school. And then, so every year they have the big game, where they play each other. And
Yeah.
every year, the ones that rooted for the county school would give me such a hard time at work because I would be like, no, it's going to be the Wildcats all the way.
Yeah.
And so when the Wildcats would win, then they would all be like, I'm not talking to you. But if they won, oh, they tracked me down to rub it
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Well,
think it's crazy for one town to have two different high
yeah.
schools. That's crazy. But they'll never merge because that rivalry has gone on for like 40, 50
Yeah.
years. And they tell these kids when they go to kindergarten, they tell them, because one are Vikings and one are
Yeah.
Wildcats, and they tell them what they are. And they have the cheerleaders and the football team from the high school come to the kindergarten class, so that they're all like, oh, I want to be a cheerleader or I want to be a football player. I can remember my daughter coming home and telling me, I'm a Wildcat. I'm like, you're a what? And
Yeah.
so she's a Wildcat, and her daughter's going to be a Wildcat too.
Yeah.
But I don't really see any difference between the two schools myself. But
Yeah.
having not grown up here, I don't have that dislike for one or the other. But people are
Yeah.
serious about their football teams here in South Georgia.
Yeah.
Don't mess with that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
strange.
Uh, I'm going to have to get going.
All right. It's we've been on here like almost 2 hours, a little
Yeah,
short of 2 hours, but that is wonderful. Thank you everybody for coming and checking it out.
I
And
appreciate it.
I appreciate it. And I will see you on the 16th.
Yep.
I'll probably have to take a nap that day, but I'll make it.
Uh,
All right. Good
I
night,
appreciate
everybody.
appreciate you having me on, and it's been a good show. And I'm I'm willing to come back again whenever you need me
All right. I'll take you up on that.
to.
Bye now.